was the original challenge or goal that you were trying to achieve?
So the goal was help with kind of resource, and also kind of developing the website. How can we make it better without having to do this massive tech plugin, or, how can we direct consumers through the site in an easy, integrated way? And also, how can we create more of a community on site?
A key learning that I got from my time at HelloFresh was that reciprocal partnerships are really beneficial to lower CAC. At Wild, we had an existing setup of being able to offer offline swaps and carry out reciprocal partnerships in the offline world, but we didn't have anything online. So it was kind of a huge area of opportunity.
So we were looking to add bundling to the site because it had been something on the roadmap prior to even me joining the business, where we know a lot of customers come on and they might buy large orders of a single type of product, but we know if we can present bundles, people who buy pet food will probably be buying pet treats, toys, accessories, clothes, whatever it happens to be.
Our customers are coming onto our website, they're building phone packages, for example, and they're parking it and they're going to look at what prices are being offered by our competitors for the exact same package. It's about us trying to re-engage those customers. We're trying to get them to choose us over others. Everyone's very price sensitive at the moment.
Yeah.
So basket abandonment is needed to put us back at the top of their inbox and remind them of why they came to our site in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. For Voxy, we know that about 80% of the customers who actually add something to the basket are going to drop off right after that. So that's where this solution that Sales Cycle offered was perfect for us, because that was helping us re-engage this audience that knew about the website, knew about Voxy, but decided not to continue to purchase after that.
I initially reached out to Adrian with a rewards page in mind. As an advertiser, we put offers on other brands' rewards pages, and it's really effective for us. And costs are increasing all the time. And so the idea of kind of building our own rewards page where we were able to swap these placements with other brands was going to be a really effective way to improve channel performance and acquire new customers at a low cost.
I actually learned about increasingly at the Performance Marketing Awards. That sounded like it would tick a box. And after a bit of internal conversations, we were able to greenlight getting them on board to see a bit of a proof of concept and tick off that long desired feature on site in a relatively low development resource.
The web team was ecstatic because it meant that their dev team didn't need it to do any of the work. So they were more than happy to give it a go.
The chat-based technology itself is designed to be on every single page of the site to support the customer at any stage of the user journey. And of course, this is a technology that supports sales, marketing, and customer service teams. It's not just limited. It's not just affiliate. We're not just discounting. This is looking at the whole. How can we improve the on-site journey for customers?
Partnering with Involve, it feels like they're just another member of the team. It just feels like I've got extra resource and someone just to help me, which is, invaluable.
We always see ourselves as part of our clients' teams. We invest a lot of time and resources to get to know people and to build those relationships. And one thing that we're always really open to do is understand client challenges and see how we can best help to resolve them, even if they don't directly link with our current products.
So that's interesting, actually. So as an advertiser, you're using the solution in such a way that it's not like the algorithm and the AI just takes over, but in fact, there's a bit of customization there, and you have a bit more control around where you deploy it and how you deploy it, depending on exactly where your experience obviously then comes into as a factor, I guess.
Exactly that. I think it's currently somewhere around 80% we use the algorithm with 20% manually injected rules. And that is both for obviously seasonality, like I mentioned, things like Christmas. There's out of stock solutions that Sri was mentioning, where if we don't have a product but we know there is a viable alternative on site, we'll use the tool to kind of push that as an alternative.
How often do you find that the products become more customized to that individual advertiser rather than being like an off-the-shelf solution?
It's a really interesting question, because you've got two sides to that. You've got a team that's building a product and they don't want to make it too customized because then it's like a dev shop. But you've also got a customer that wants to adapt. And so then there's a sweet spot between both sides that actually listens hard to what customers are saying and tweaks so that you can give that customization but still retain the essence of this is a product that does ABC, not A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc.
So why was Gift with Purchase a strategy that you were keen to explore?
It's always such an efficient channel. I think due to the nature of it being on a commission model, you know that you're only paying for customers that you actually get. And affiliates generally, people can have kind of a skewed view of it feeling like it could be low quality customers, you know, all the discount code, like coupon code sites. Whereas gift with purchase, actually, you know, you're partnering with these brands that have the exact same audience demographic to you, particularly at Wild. You know, it's a subscription product. So ideally, we want to find new customers that are already subscribed to other subscription brands. If you subscribe to one, you're likely to appreciate the convenience of subscribing to another one.
Yeah. Where gift with purchase really kicks in is it kind of replaces a traditional upsell, if you'd call it that. So to help you kind of imagine it, you're at a checkout of a retailer, you know, usually, for example, in the case of Wild, here's some deodorant, perhaps you'd like X, Y, or Z product with that. What we do in this scenario is we find relevant partner brands, so things that match the audience of Wild, and that's a very key part of it. And kind of in that inventory, give them that offer.
Yeah, so there's a clear affinity there for your audience of customers who have already, by buying your product, you can see that they've got certain principles in mind, or maybe more ethically minded. And so those partnerships with brands that have a similar credibility in the space are going to resonate well, right?
Definitely, yeah. And just looking at the brands as well, you know, bathroom products or like household products, they're very relevant. So as the customer's kind of going through our website, purchasing their refillable bathroom products, it makes sense to tack on something else in a similar space. It wants to be relevant for the customer, but also aligned with the brand and our brand values as well.
Tanita, over the course of the partnership, what would you say you've most enjoyed about working together with Vodafone and Sales Cycle?
Something I really enjoy is testing, seeing test results, playing around with things, trying to optimize journeys, optimize the emails we're sending out to the customers, and Will's all for it. Yeah, he does love a test. So that's the part I've enjoyed, you know, getting those results in and saying, right, we sent them this version to this group of customers and we sent another version to another group. Which one performed better and what can we learn from that? I think that's what keeps it exciting. That's what keeps us evolving. And I think it's been key and something Will's always championed from the beginning. He's always said we don't have to stick with this way of working. We can try different things.
Definitely.
Have you ever been surprised by kind of the testing?
Can I be honest? When Will said to us we should really focus on SMS, I was like, really? I was like, are we going backwards here? We've been focusing so much on email, and Will was champion SMS and was saying to us, guys, we've got to get this plugged in. It's going to do really well for you. And it's done amazingly. He was right. He is the expert. But yeah, it's something that we were not probably as excited as Will was about it, but when the results came in, we joined him. Were there any other insights that you came across?
There was kind of 3 really interesting behaviors that we noticed from the Wild audience. In the first instance, we noticed actually very proportionally high number of people. 25% of Wild's customers selected a gift at checkout, which when you think about it, 1 in 4 people see value from the gifts and checkout. That's pretty incredible. When the customer does select a gift, they're 22% more likely to check out. Shoppers also spend more when they're selecting a gift. On average, about 3% is the average of the 12 months data that we've seen.
I think the senior stakeholders were more worried that it would divert attention away from the website, because obviously it's another pop-up, it's another kind of way to grab the consumer's attention. But as soon as kind of we got it live and it was going, I think the opposite was found. It's actually a great way to direct the consumer through your site. Instead of someone clicking off your site because they don't know, they can just ask it a question or, you know, try to find something that they want. We found bounce rate really dropped because people were staying on the site for longer because they actually had a way to navigate through if they couldn't find something. So I think that really helped and really turned around the stakeholders' kind of opinions of it.
It is and continues to be a very cost-effective, first and foremost, way of bringing tools onto the site because we're paying for performance in most cases. There's very little risk involved in that. But equally, it allows us to prove the value of these features on site. to build future arguments for why we need to add these features on site more organically or expand on the capability of these features. So it's been really, really beneficial both from the commercial point of view and from kind of the use case and the business case going forwards.
Just like Tanita said, the affiliate marketing partner that you're going to be working with is the expert in their field. So my advice would be trusting and working hand in hand with this partner, because at the end of the day, you have to trust them to do what's best, because they know what's best from their side. They'll be able to advise, and the collaboration aspect is really important. I think trusting them to do the right things for your brand.